Good girl. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1500. Yo, it's Dirt Day. You're probably going, Dirt Day? What the heck are you talking about? Well, today we got a little, we're all hot and sweaty right now. I had to towel off my face before I came on. I didn't even have time for a shower, get changed when I realized what the time was. I was like, we got to get online. So I'm sitting here all hot and sweaty. And then I'm going to take Zeffy for a walk, come home, have a quick shower, and it should be good. Actually, I may not even get that in. I'm talking with my niece in an hour or so. That'll be fun. See if we can get a shower in before then. But today was a dirt day. We got back from our walk this morning, and before I even had breakfast, I went outside and I mowed my lawns. Now, my lawns were about this long. They're now about this long. And as I started, and it's just a small little piece out there, as I started, the guy across the road was, the neighbor across the road was out doing his yard work. And he came over and he's like, "Excuse me, ma'am." And I go, "Yeah." And he says, "I've got a gas-powered mower in there in the garage if you'd like to borrow it." And I went, "Nope." I says, "But thank you very much for the offer." I said, "I'm fine with this. I just have a push mower. It's just a small piece." I had so much fun out there doing it. I know my hands and my arms are going to feel it tomorrow. And when I got the rake out, and I don't have anything to edge the edge of the grass or anything. So there's still bits of grass out there, and there's some places where the grass is still a little longer. It didn't get chopped off and that sort of stuff. But I did a pretty good job. I thought I did a pretty good job, and I didn't have anything to do any edging with. I don't have one of those things with the string that go around and around and around and around. I have no idea how to use one of those. Brad would be the one that would use it. I tried it one time, and yeah, it's like, don't give me that to work with. And I didn't have the blowy thing to do that afterwards. And I didn't even have my yard broom. My yard broom is actually in the RV. And so I was like, oh, what am I going to do with all this grass that's on the pavement? Because they're going to frown if the HOA will frown with that one. And so what I did is I got my hose out with the sprayer nozzle and just jet. Well, that was after I raked it. First of all, I got my rake out and raked everything into piles and put it into the trash can for Monday. And as I was doing that, one of the elderly gentlemen who live in the neighborhood here, he walks through the park area and picks up all the trash. Sweet, sweet, sweet guy. And we always stop and chat and that. And he stops to talk with me. And he actually I was looking for a business card. He says, "Oh, I have for our business." And he turns around and he says, "Oh, I have a card for what it is that you need." And I says, "Excellent." He says, "Well, next time I'm over your way, I'll stop by and give it to you." And I went, "Okay." And so he said it was the last one that he had him on it back. So I took a picture of it and gave it back to him, and because I had my phone on me. And then I started feeling really faint, and I was like, "Oh, jeepers," because it was starting to get warm out there. It was 83 when I started doing the yard work with 29% humidity. And so I said to him, I says, "Look, I'm sorry, but I have to go inside and get some water. I'm about to pass out from the heat. It's just getting too hot out here for me." And I finally lost the green off my hands. I had green hands at one point, like around here. I had green because my gloves have this green leather bit, and for some reason it leached through and onto my skin. It was that bad. It wasn't green leather. It was green something on the thing that the sweat decided to put into my skin. But now I seem to have washed it off throughout the day. But I was out there for about an hour, and I got the grass cut. I got it all raked, and then I got the hose out. I put the nozzle thingy on with the different sprays, and just put it on jet and just cleaned along the edge of the grass on the pavement there, cleaned off all the grass off the pavement, pushed it over onto that little strip across the pavement there that's got all gravel on there. Even hosed down the driveway, and then I came and hosed down my whole entire porch area because we had a dust storm come through about a week ago, and it was like 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. And so there's all this dust and crap that was around the door. So I just got in there and because I didn't have my yard broom, waterworks. So I just got in there and sprayed it all out. I've got to do that on the back patio yet. I have to do that on the back patio, so we'll probably do that one tomorrow. But got all that cleaned up and felt really good because I got it all clean. So now my front yard looks good. I'm going to put the sprinkler on it tomorrow because they're probably going to complain because it now looks dead again because I just cut it. Like, I can't win. It either looks too green and scraggly and it needs a cut, and they'll complain about that. This is the HOA will complain about that. Or I've cut it down and now it looks like it's dead. And they'll write me up having a dead lawn, and I'm like thinking I can't win. And so then we came inside, and I have this plan for the room behind me, and I was like thinking, oh, because I thought, well, I need to go to Home Depot and get the cinder blocks with the, and I'm like, for now I don't need to do that because I actually have milk crates, and if you put milk crates on their side, they're little bookcase boxes, little boxes of bookcases. And I thought, well, how many of those have I got? So I went around in the house, and I think I'm up to 12. I think I've got 12. I'm not sure if there's any out in the garage, but I have 12 inside the house. And I was looking at them, and some of them already have books in them. So I'm like, well, that's them taken care of. And some just have other stuff in there that's got to be sorted anyway. So I can get that stuff sorted and then use the empty crates. And then I have a friend of mine gave me these 2 long, narrow mats. And I thought, well, that'd be perfect to put on the floor, put the milk crates on their sides on top of that. And then I would even get a box and put the box with the cardboard across the back. So the little round thingies on the bottom of the cart, you know how, if you've ever looked at milk crates, you can stack them. And they've got those little round hole things that clipped in together and stuff. So then they won't be pushing into the wall. So I'm going to put them behind. And I thought, well, if I get those, then on top of that, I could get the banker boxes that I'm emptying out. So I'm thinking, get the good banker boxes, like the ones that haven't used much, like 1 or 2, and they look in reasonable condition. I could put the lids across the top of the crates, and then I could put the banker box on their side, and there's another form of bookcase. And so I'm like thinking, well, that worked really well. And I have my black metal bookcase, and I've got it where, and I have my little small bookcase I used to have in the dining room back in San Diego. And that was my cookbook stand. Well, I got that. I managed to free that up. I actually made this path around the front of the window and onto the back wall there. And there's this whole big area behind the boxes that's now cleared out. And I managed to get that bookcase out today. And then there's a hole in the bottom of the back of the thing. And I'm just like thinking, I can hide that with books. And I can't find the shelf. There is a shelf in there, but I don't know where it is. I haven't seen it. I don't recall seeing it in storage or anything else. So it may be lost. But once I know it's definitely not in that room there. It may be in the guest room where I've still got some boxes to go through with all my craft stuff in that. And so it may be in there. So I'm just not doing anything about that shelf right now. But all my cookbooks are now in the bookcase, in the family room. And I'm like, yay. So I've been moving boxes, and I went to pick up this one box. It was so heavy. I was like, what the hell is in here? And I'm like, what the heck do I have that's that? What did they put in this box? Because it was one that was packed by the packers. I'm like, what the heck did they put in this box? And so I opened it up, and there's this big black box thing on top with a piece that had fallen off the front of it. I'm like, what the heck is this? And I go to pick it up, and I suddenly realized what it was. When we had the house in Virginia, downstairs in the basement, we had a purpose-built home theater. And one of the things we had in there to protect all the equipment that we had was a UPS, uninterruptible power supply. So if the power went out, it would help keep the power going, especially on the TV, because the TV had a cooling fan in the back of it, and it was a rear projection TV, and so it had this cooling fan that would go and so the bulbs and everything would cool down because you can't just turn it off. And so we had this UPS there, and all the equipment was plugged into the back of UPS. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I managed to somehow get hold of this thing and get it out of the box, and then staggered with it on my little path down to the windows, across the front of the windows, all the way through the living room area into the family room. It's now sitting on the floor in front of the TV stand, because now I've got to go and clean it all. It's gotten a little dusty, so I need to go in there with the cleaner and get it all cleaned up. And then I thought, well, I can put that on there and I can use that because it's a really good UPS, and I just have to find the power cord for it. But on the back, it's got a 3-pin plug that goes on the back of it that then goes into the wall, and then you have all of your equipment plugged into the back of this thing. And so I just need to find the power cord for that, which is probably in one of my boxes that has a whole bunch of cables and stuff in it. And so I'm working on, so I've got that there. Then I found in that same box, there was this another big black box, and it turned out to be the receiver that we used to have down in the basement, which has, I will tell you this, putting that thing together is so much fun. When it came to putting electronics together in the house, like sound systems and DVD players and CD players and the stereo and the stereo and all of that. So when it came to putting all of that together, I was the one that did that because I get such a kick out of doing it. But when it was first installed, it was done by professionals. And so I had to take pictures of the back? I think I just wrote everything down on a page as to what went where and everything else. And but yeah, there's all the little knobs on the back that you've got to undo to put the speaker cables into them and then tighten them all back up and everything else. It was one of the top of the line ones back when we installed everything. Yeah, probably not so much now, but so I had to pull that out and not as it wasn't as heavy. It was nowhere near as heavy as the UPS was. The UPS is just battery, which is it weighed a lot. But I got it over there safely and managed to get down into, and you always use your legs when you're lifting. So I managed to crouch down to place it on the floor and all of that. I found my old gym bag, which has my boxing gloves in, my weight gloves, and the straps that I would use on the weights, on the bars and everything else. I found all that. And I was going through it and cleaning it out because there's a lot of stuff in there, like some supplements that were expired that I'd take before I would work out, and some supplements I'll take afterwards and all that. So I'm cleaning it out, and I cleaned out like $14. Found $14 in $1 bills and coins. It was just under $14 that I found in there. And I thought, yay. And I got these 2 piggy banks out by the TV. And so I went and put it all in there. So that was kind of fun. And then I found a box of genealogy. I was like, yes. I just wanted to sit down and go through it. It's like, no. And found 2 boxes, opened them. And when I saw all the files in there with all the labels on the files, I was like, well, that can be shredded. That box can be shredded. Yay. That's 2 boxes down once we get the shredder out. I have a shredder. Actually, where is the shredder? I think it might still be in the box out there. So it's been a day of moving stuff around out in the living room area. And now I'm at the point where I can take I have a black metal bookcase, which used to sit in Brad's office. And it's currently in half, which is how you transport it. And so I've got the top half cleared, and the bottom half is like sitting at right angles to it with a couple of boxes in the way. So I have to pull those boxes out of the way and get them out. And then I have to empty the bottom half of the bookcase because I've been storing books on them. It's a bookcase. I've been storing books on them so I can get the stuff out of boxes. And so now I have to go move all those books so I can then pull the bookcase into position and see if I can get it back into one piece again. I know I'm missing a few screws for that thing. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they're taped somewhere on one of the shelves and stuff on the underside or something. So I have to see if I can find them. But that'll go up, and then and that's going to be kind of halfway along the wall, but just to one side because there's an outlet there. And then I'm going to stack up the milk crates as bookcases, and then put the bank boxes on top as another series of bookcases. So it may not take all the books that I have, but it will get most of them up there. And of course, all my cookbooks are now on the bookcase, and I put it just inside the family room, on the family room side. And it needs the shelf. So once I get the shelf, then I've got places I can put the shorter books. Oh, excuse me. All right, excuse me. So yeah, it's been a very, very busy day. So now we're going to go and so that's what it's all about. It's dirt day. It was getting in there. It was getting dirty. And yeah, I had, at one point I did have dirt streaks on my face. They got washed off over the day. And it was just like grabbing a bottle of water and having a drink. And what did Zeffie do? She just stayed there the entire day. But I could really do with a nap, but I'm going to take her for a walk, and then I get to talk with my niece after that. So I'm super excited about that, which means I probably won't get a shower till before bed. My hair needs a wash, and I hate going to bed with wet hair. So I might have to have another one in the morning and wash the hair and then start all over again. But I don't have to do the outside yard work. Yay, because it's already done. But yeah, it's been a dirt day. It's been a day of getting dirty, getting hot, getting sweaty. Been keeping the electrolytes going. That's been the fun part. Remembering to stop to have food along the way, because as soon as I finished out there, and I was only out there for about an hour. It was about an hour because I went out there like 8:30 and I came back in at 9:30. So it was about an hour, around 9:30ish. I came back in and then got breakfast, and I'd finished breakfast by 10. And I was like, okay, what's next? Oh, we're going to do the front room. So we started working on that. And I did take a nap at one point during the day. Just went stretched out on the couch because I was exhausted. But yeah, it was so good, but it was so hot. It ended up getting really, really hot outside. We went to 108 today for the high, but when we came back from the walk, it was around 83, 84, mid 80s, I think it was. And when I got started out there, but we had low humidity and I was going fine until I stopped and talked with the elderly gentleman who walks around the neighborhood and stuff. And until I stopped and talked with him, I hadn't noticed the heat. But once I stopped to talk to him, I was like, damn, I'm so hot. And I started getting lightheaded. And so I said to him, I said, look, I'm sorry, I've got to cut this short. I said, but if I don't get some water in me, like ASAP and something to eat, because I hadn't had breakfast at this point, I'm going to fall over. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And we'd already done what he intended to do anyway, which was to give me the business card. And so I just had that little bit to pick up. And then afterwards, when I came back outside, it was just hosing everything down. So it turned out to be a really, really good day. It was nice. It was dirty. It was sweaty. But it was a day of physical activity, which I don't normally have so much physical activity in a day. And it felt really, really good to do that. And I'm like, I need to do more of this movement stuff. So yeah. So we got a lot of stuff done today, and I'm very happy with what I got accomplished today, especially getting the lawns mowed. Yeah, that was a big thing. And then having to rake it all up afterwards. It's funny. And I had found my garden gloves the other day. They were in a box in the bedroom. So I went and got those today and was able to scoop up the grass clippings and everything else. But yeah, I got stuck in there and I got that front yard done with a push mower. Even though I did have a beautiful offer from a neighbor of using his gas mower, I was just like, nope, we're good. Thank you. I said, I need the exercise. So I told him, I said, I need the exercise. And, but I haven't used a push mower in years and it was so much fun. It was so much fun to do that. And yeah, I kill plants, but haven't mowed grass in, I don't remember when I last used a lawnmower. It's been even longer since I used a push mower. And for those that don't know, a push mower is one without an engine. It's just got the blades. And as you walk, the wheels turn and it turns the blades. And the faster you walk, the faster the blade turns and the better the cut is. But my grass was about this tall this morning when I started. And so there was a lot of, not a lot of speed and everything. So I got it basically cut down and then I went back over it again at speed. So I was able to do that, which took care of most of the rest of it. And there's a couple of places where there's some little long pieces, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. It got cut. And now I have the name and number for a landscaper. And I can, because I want to know how to use we have a in-ground sprinkler system and I want to know how to use it because basically I'm going out there with a hose and a sprinkler and I put it on for 30 minutes or an hour and then go out there and turn it off and that's me watering. But it's not getting the trees and there's a shrub down the side of the house there that it's not getting either. So I need to find out how to use the in-ground sprinkler system with the soakers and stuff so that everything gets watered properly. But that's it from us for today. Did you get dirty today? Did you get out there? Did you get yard work done? Did you get housework done? Did you do anything today that's like a dirty job that you had to do around the house? Like cleaning, gardening, yard work, moving boxes, packing boxes, just stuff where you got hot and sweaty and dirty. Sometimes it's just really good to have one of those days. And that was today's day. It was a dirty day today and it was awesome. So without further ado, catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Hei konara.